Dear friends, welcome back with another machine on the Van Hub, which is 6 days lab. The link will be put into the description section below so that you can download and play the machine if you want to. From my view, this machine is very, very interesting, which involves major vulnerabilities of web applications, such as file inclusion vulnerability, SSRF or server-side request forgery, and also most important for all is SQL injection vulnerability. And in this case, we cannot simply launch SQL map to conduct SQL injection. We need to utilize manual techniques to inject SQL, the malicious payload for our purpose. For example, retrieve data from the database. However, before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. You're greatly appreciated. So, enough talk, let's just get started. Sorry, I forgot to mention another point with this environment. Based on my practice, this machine would work better with VMware rather than VirtualBox. Of course, this is my personal experience. Okay, now we can head over to Kali Linux VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. As you can see over here, the IP address of the target could be recognized as 151. And also we can notice that such information onto our notebook. Next, we need to do port and surface scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So for now, we just get out its result. As usual, I used the options like SceneScan, the virtual scan, the default script scan, followed by the -p- to do the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Although you can notice here, the IP address of the target machine has been changed. This doesn't matter, as you know. So from the map scanning results, we can tell that the target has two open port numbers. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service or secure shell service, and also its version information. And this version number is a bit outdated. However, I don't think we can find easy or workable vulnerabilities. The next one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information Apache 2. And also another port number caught our attention because state is filtered a bit weird, right? So maybe there'll be some port locking which should be involved, maybe, or some other things will be involved. Okay, so now what are we going to do next? It's very clear. We need to conduct the web application emulation both manually and automatically with this port number, or this application running on this port number, or rather. So let's fire up the browser to do the manual emulation first. And we can put the IP address of the target into the address bar. Press enter, and we got the page back. So this is, I think, is telling us what's running on the target. I think it's running intrusion prevention system. And as also you can notice here, it's so secure. We even use it on our website or on this website. And so be quick and get 50% discount on our newest product using the promo code. So maybe we can copy. Code expired. So maybe we can put something else. Nothing returned. So, of course, this form or this promo code maybe exists SQL injection vulnerability, or maybe not XSS vulnerability, cross-site vulnerability. It's very possible that this form is vulnerable to SQL injection vulnerability. So next or afterwards, I will launch SQL map to conduct such injection automatically. SQL map is fantastic too. Although this utility cannot work for some cases, especially if the IPS or WAF is in place on the target application. And then next, we can check its source code by right-clicking the mouse. Not very exciting, but this one, the image, caught my attention very much. We can copy and paste over here. Sorry, I think I need to note down such information. SSH port 80. HTTP immersion, and here is the source attribute for the image tag of the HTML code, because I think because the machine is configured to host only, and this is the reason why this image cannot be displayed successfully or properly. This doesn't matter. But, if you look at this URL very carefully, you can notice this parameter source. So by this pattern, we can guess maybe this source parameter is vulnerable to local file inclusion vulnerability, right? So, but now we can put it aside for a while. Let's do some additional immersion. For example, I'd like to launch the Q command to retrieve the robots file, but not found. Nicto. A lot of output. So this confirm again our early discovery. The target website is protected by IPS. And of course, this IPS the IPS is product of this company. So next, we can try to use the GoBuster to do the directory immersion. Maybe it will also fail, but it deserves our choice, right? GoBuster directory and extension option. Press enter, and similarly, GoBuster discovered many files or directories, but I don't think they exist. Indeed, they're just some false results which returned by IPS. So I think now we need to test that form, the promo code. Also, I think we can notice this page. We can note it down to our notebook as well. Okay, so maybe this part is not useful. Next, we can launch the Burp Suite to conduct SQL injection. Next, proxy, and we can apply and we can get the request and we can save to this file and overwrite, no problem. And then we can launch SQL map to test level 2, 3. Of course, if you want, you can wait. But, we cannot get the positive result, or we cannot tell the target is vulnerable to SQL injection vulnerability or not. To save time of this video, I will not wait anymore. Okay, so now I think it's time to test this URL, or specifically this parameter. Maybe this one is vulnerable to local file inclusion vulnerability, right? So we can use Q. For example, the password file. As you can see, we successfully retrieved this file. And also we can find two normal users, user and Andra. Since we have already confirmed the target is vulnerable to this vulnerability, we can try to retrieve the private key. Andra. But nothing returned. Sorry. So next we can try to another user. The username is user, okay? But nothing returned as well. And because SSH is running on the target, so next we can try to access log file, authentication log file, var log, authentication log, but nothing returned. So how about Apache 2, access log, but nothing returned. And so how about, we can try to retrieve the bash history, but nothing returned. So although the target is vulnerable to file inclusion vulnerability, but we cannot go further, right? So how about to retrieve the Apache 2 configuration file? Okay, so the Apache 2 and the sites are available. Default. As you can see, we retrieved this configuration file for Apache 2, and it's running 8080. However, just now by the Nmap scanning, we knew that this port number is filtered. Let's scroll down. Yes, we have already got the reason, because this is only accessible locally. So next, we need to test whether we can access this application through the file inclusion point. Okay, so what I mean, we can try to access, this is the running on the 80 port number, and we can use this local file inclusion vulnerability to access 8080 port number, right? So this is what, maybe I can do it first. 8080 and index. As you can see, we successfully got back the page. And if you compare the content of this page to this one, to this page, I think they are exactly the same, right? So next, I think we can try to retrieve another file. Just now, we have already found this file from the source code, and we can paste over here, but nothing returned. Nothing returned. Okay? So how about, so how to retrieve this file? Maybe we need to think of other ways to retrieve this file. All right. So how to do? Maybe we just directly retrieve this file. As a pen tester, we need to try different ways as much as possible, or as many as possible, right? As you can see, we can retrieve this file, thus even the source code, right? And also we found another file, configuration file. So I think next, also we can get this SQL, select SQL statement. Oh, this information is so important for the SQL injection, right? So before we try to inject or try to conduct SQL injection, we can retrieve this configuration file. Configuration file. And we can successfully got the username and password. But I think these credentials at this point are not useful because database is not publicly accessible. However, we can note down such information to our notebook. So next, because this file, if we as we know, if we apply, and this one, it possibly exists SQL injection vulnerability. However, we cannot directly launch such attack. We need to combine the SSRF and SQL injection together. Also, even we need to make double coding or encoding. So I show you what I mean. And we can utilize the Python to encode. So maybe, for example, we can launch the Python, and we can, because we have to know that the target, here is the string. Yeah, which one? Yeah, not here. Yeah, it's a string, right? So next we need to know the special character which can allow us to close up the previous SQL statement. Okay, for example, like the dash, like a pound symbol. Okay, let me show you. Of course, first of all, we need to import some module, URL lib pass import quote. This quote can make URL encoding, and we can print code. We need to do double coding, encoding. A and but I think there's some error. Interesting. Okay, so now we can copy. Maybe I can generate the URL on the notebook. So we can do like this one, HTTP. Maybe I can copy from here. The image, yeah, this one. And this one. And the parameter name is promo code. Okay, and just now we have already encoded this. Sorry, we can copy. Now we can copy and run it on the terminal. Nothing returned. It means that no error. So next we can try to, retrieve the database information. For example, the database information. So how to do? We can. Oh, I think first of all, before we get there, we need to know how many columns are there in the SQL statement. Of course, for this application or for this machine, we have to know that how many columns over here. Maybe I can copy this SQL statement. There will be 2 columns, discount and status. But in many cases, we cannot get such SQL statement. We need to test to get such knowledge. So how to make such testing? Okay, and we can use this way or this technique. For example, we can use the order by, for example, 5. If there is error, and it means that there are not 5 columns. Okay, so we can copy and paste over here, and we can copy. I think this would be a much better way to conduct such. I can see we got the error, promo code not valid. So we can reduce this quantity of columns. For example, we can like 2, and we can copy again. In the real engagement, you need to reduce 5 to 1, 1 by 1. Okay, and now we can paste over here, and then we can copy. No error, right? So it means that there should be 2 columns. So next we need to know which column can display information, and we can use the the union select statement. Okay, so how to do? We can use the union select 1, 2, and we can copy the result and replace this payload. We can copy and run it in here. So I think the first column can give us information, and this is the point we should utilize. For example, next I'd like to know database. So how to do database function, and we can run it again. Oh, why? What I'm doing? We can create or generate the payload on our notebook. We can copy again. We can get the database name, and this is exactly the same this one, which we got from the configuration file. Okay, and we can put over here. So what are we going to do next? We need to know how many tables for this database, and also we need to utilize the union select. Okay, so how to do union select, and of course select group concat, because there will be multiple tables. So the table name and from information schema tables. Information schema is a special database for the MySQL, and the database, this is the table which store all names for all tables. Okay, so now where table schema database. Okay, so I think that's it. We can run it. We can copy. I hope there will be no error in this payload. Otherwise, we need to modify to make it work. We can replace this payload and run it in the terminal. Great. As you can see over here, there are two tables in this database, FancyDB. And what we are interested in most would be this one, user tables, because this table contains credentials. So next we need to know how many columns are for this table, right? Similarly, we can do like this way. This time, not a table name, would be column name, and information schema, not tables, columns. Okay, and we're table, not a schema. Schema means database, and the name would be users. Of course, we need to use single quotes to wrap. Okay, and now we can copy and replace this part and run it again in the terminal. So there are three columns in this table, in the user table: ID, username, and password. And what we want is username and password. Okay, so how to do next? We need to, use the, of course, this case, not column name, and we need to use the concat ws function. This would be, separator or connector, username, password. Okay, and the from users table, because we have already got the user, the table name users. Okay, that's it. And now we can copy and replace this part and copy and run it in the terminal. Not valid. It means that there is some mistake. Some mistake in this statement. So I think we must be very careful. So unim select group concat ws. So this will combine username and password. Oh, sorry, I miss another bracket. Okay, because this would be this one. This is the entire part, or one. Okay, so now we can press enter, and we can copy and replace this part. Although, you know, manual techniques will involve a bit boring works, but it deserves our efforts. Okay, and we can run it in here. As you can see, we successfully get to know the username and password, because, you know, the credentials sometimes are used in different locations or different scenarios. So next we can try to use this credential to SSH to the target. We can copy this password. Paste in here. All right. Now we have already successfully logged in the target, and we can run commands, but nothing here. So this is some sort of a restrict bash. Of course, we need to escape from this restrict bash. And I think one of the easiest way is to spawn a new shell. Okay, for example, we can set up another listener on the Kali Linux, and then we can, for example, run netcat press enter, and we got a collection. As you can see now, this time we can run commands as usual, but of course this shell is not so good. We can make another spawn by Python. Python 2 is there. Bin bash. Okay, now it's better, and we can go to home, go to user, nothing here. So, you know, next we can check the kernel. You know, this is a bit old kernel. So next we can try to utilize the kernel exploit to elevate privilege. And I've already got this one. You can use the search exploit to search, and then you can get this code. And next we need to upload this code to the target. I think I have already done that before, as you can see over here. And then we can use the GCC to, you know, compile it. I've already done that before. So now we can just run this exploit to elevate privilege. Okay, we are successful. So that's all I'd like to do in this video. See you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.